So as you can see, it's just going to be one of them first impressions things from the new Parfums de Marly. I'm not going to lie, I don't hold up much hope for it being a love, but things can surprise us. Somebody else has described it as not very nice. That's like a real person, not an influencer. Seen kind of a mixed reception for this, but it's Parfums de Marly. I mean, you know, if it's not gifted, then you tend to hear more of the truth, don't you? Anyway, I need to spray it on my hand because I haven't yet. That's what this one is probably going to be like. So we'll get to that. Hang on. Well, I ain't sniffed it yet. It's not really a shiny, oily one. You can see a bit. Well, who cares? In the air, there's quite a blast in the air. In the air, we're kind of getting this dense, massive cashmere, and that's definitely there with a sweetness there. A plastic pear, maybe. I mean, I remember them in pear and some. There might be some citrus in this. It reminds me of something immediately, but that's not always a surprise with Parfums de Marly. Oh God, it's cashmere and plastic, ultimately. Yeah, there's kind of stuff. What is it reminding me of? This is the problem when you do things off the bat, isn't it? It gets quite rambly or pausey. Something I've smelt recently. Is it maybe a bit of Paradox or something like that? I'm always going to say that because that's the fruity mess I tried last. It's something like that. You know, you kind of generic, smelt it a million times before kind of thing. Look, it's, you know, first off the bat, it's not hideous yet. It's just got this kind of the sweetness is very plastic. The cashmere is very there. It's not too dense at this moment in time. Oh God. I'm not a fan of cashmere. I don't really get, I mean, it's supposed to have violet in or wing it about in the air. Not really. So yeah, it's kind of sweet, fruity cashmere, and we'll call this first part. I'll do my walk, and on the way back we can sniff it again, and then I suppose I'll have to come out later, talk about a dry down. Although I suspect this ain't gonna change. But yeah. So no, we're not quite on the way back yet, but it's changed a bit. It's got even sweeter. I can see what they mean by pear. But it's like this pear sweetener. You know how sweetener smells really. Sweetener is always like them washing cubes you put in a dishwasher to me. And it's very sweet. That will be the main thing to say. And that cashmere has got much more. It's kind of getting to that vommy stage, you know, the socks in the mouth, choking, someone's got the fingers over your nose, and it's that kind of, it's just a lot. It's almost how would you describe it, in a sort of medicinal you know, fruity child's cough syrup way, but it's unpleasant. It's not a nice, you know, sometimes like Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme Intense has this kind of rich medicinal. It's not like that. Yes, there's a kind of plasticky orange as well, I think, in there. It's yeah, it changed a little, but not for the better to me. So yeah, we're about, I don't know, not looked at the clock properly, about 40 minutes or so after. Oh god. I'd say it's more that kind of inverted commas orange. I think the best way to describe this is someone's made a plastic toy from Sunny Delight. You remember Sunny Delight, that pure sugar, horrible so-called orange juice, and they've made this plastic toy and they've left it on the hob accidentally, and they've come back and there's these kind of funky sort of plastic Sunny Delight, oh god, orange fumes filling the air, and obviously the cashmere is very choking-y. I mean, I'll say more about it later, but oh god, excuse me, it's made me feel a bit queasy. It's really very unpleasant. What could I compare it to? It's like someone's took Clinique Happy and made it awful. No, I've got to say more than that. Someone's taken Clinique Happy and they've amped everything up in it, but they've put like all these really kind of toxic notes in, you know, like the melting plastic, the cashmere and stuff like that. I think there's a little bit of ambroxan in it, which I'll come to later, because there's a reason there's more cashmere than ambroxan in these things nowadays, isn't there? But yeah, it's not nice. So, I don't know, 6-7 hours. To be fair, it's still there. It did kind of, after about an hour, get a little bit powdery. Like a powdered sweet wool kind of thing. Again, that cashmere still going crazy, and now it's kind of whatever, it's not changed much. I'm guessing the powderiness is supposed to be the violet. Look, it's just cashmere with a bit of sweetness, and it's like the cashmere has got a bit hotter and stuff. It ain't nice, but yeah, it's basically a day with it. So yeah, we'll get into the conclusion. So yeah, what did I think of this one? Well, it's not for me. But it's not just that it's not for me. I mean, this is 250 quid, something like that. Maybe more. Seriously? This is where, I mean, I've never been a Parfums de Marly fan. So, you know, I am a bit biased, but it smells like every generic designer that's about at the moment, with extra cashmere in it. Is cashmere really expensive now? How come the 60, well, 70, 80 pound designers don't cost that much? They have a ton of it in as well. And whilst we're talking about the cashmere, and yeah, you kind of read about and hear about ambroxan got quite expensive because it was used so much as a kind of cheap booster. So now that's probably in a bit of a shortage and more expensive. They've switched to cashmere, haven't they? Because these brands actually don't care. They're actually taking the pee out of us to make it big and boom, because that's what sells things like this. Nobody goes to Parfums de Marly and goes, oh, what an artistic masterpiece. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's something I'd wear to. No, nobody goes to Parfums de Marly for that. So they just chuck in as much of these molecular stuff as possible, and of course the cheapest molecular stuff as possible. This is all my opinion, I'm not an expert, and this is all this is. This is a DNA that's very much out there. Like I say, maybe paradox, it could be anything I've smelt recently, to be quite honest with you, because they all follow a kind of similar thing, don't they? Fruity cashmere and vanilla, it's the kind of thing at the moment, isn't it? And I feel like there has to be a point where people are going to go, no. Even if my favourite influencer tells me their free bottle is the greatest thing they've ever had in the history of the world ever, I'm not going to pay this much for this nonsense. I mean, again, Paradox ain't cheap because the price of designers has shot up, but it's so much better because it's not that Mickey take price. If you want this fragrance, you can find it much cheaper. Yeah, it won't have the lovely purple bottle. This is true. Is that worth an extra 200 quid? It's down to the individual. I just think this is kind of, again, a typification of where fragrance has gone. As much molecular cheap stuff as humanly possible, as generic as it can get. Nobody wants to make something interesting or with a bit of finesse. I get it, you know, some natural ingredients get banned and all of that, and natural isn't always the best. But with the perfumers these people have, give them the money they need and the materials, and they could make something beautiful that doesn't smell like a synthetic mess, that doesn't smell like a sock that has just come out of the tumble dryer and is still got, you know, you've put one of them sheets in that gives it a fruity flavour, a bit like a softener. It's just not a surprise, but again, it's just another nail in the coffin, isn't it? And then there will be hype about this. Look, again, it makes me feel physically sick because of all the cashmereing, but I know not everyone has that reaction to it. I'm not an influencer. Everyone trusts their paid opinions. Try it first, you know, try it and go round a local like department store or pharmacist or whatever that has designer fragrances and check yourself. Do you really want it? If you want it for the bottles, fair enough. I mean, I get it. If you're a PDM collector, I get it, that's fair enough. I pay over for stuff that's not that great. Well, you know, I enjoy it, but price is all subjective, isn't it? It's worth what we're willing to pay ultimately. But I think they're taking the mick. So yeah, I'm finished rambling. So what about yourself? Have you tried this one? Have you tried the latest ones? I mean, I hate Altair as well. Generic vanilla, yay! But what about yourself? Do you have a favourite Parfums de Marly? Are you just sick of these basically influencer brands that pop up from nowhere, charge an absolute fortune because an influencer gets excited because they're telling them that the bottle is 300 quid. Oh, this must be amazing. And then they read out the notes to you and whatever the script requires them to. Are you just getting sick of it all? Is this kind of where our passion has led us to, the kind of sad generic end? Don't worry, there's indie out there and there will always be good fragrances released. That's always going to happen. It's just they're going to be the rare, unique one-offs now. We're not going to find loads of decent ones. We're not going to smell many things and go, wow, I have never smelled anything like this, or this is great. That ain't going to happen for a while, till the mass markets and the normos get sick of it, get sick of being ripped off. I mean, we are in every other way of life. Anyway, that's me rambling on so much. Right, thanks, bye.